Hey, Federico, I can hear you.
Good, perfect. Well, hello guys, welcome to Kleros community call number, I don't know, lots of April 2, 2025. Finally back home after a few weeks, Argentina, exhausted. I had so many activities there. We went to the Merge event. I had a panel there with Mario Adaro and Javier Garcia Sanchez, speaking about the Kleros applications in government. Went for recording a podcast, one at the Universidad Austral. I recorded another podcast with a legislator from the Buenos Aires city government, and many more activities in the world capital of crypto. So I'd say that I'm happy and I'm back home now, so I can uh, get some. I wouldn't say rest because I still have lots of things to do, but at least I am at one single place and not having to go to different activities. Yeah. So we have lots of different things going on now. Let me see where I should start. I think I can start by uh, mentioning that we are now in the final stages of recruiting for developers. We just onboarded this week two more developers. One computer. This is the developer relations specialist that is going to work on improving our documentation. So as you know, we have lots of developments we've done over time and different products and documentation. It's like as I say, the all of Minerva. Documentation it happens after you develop the things. So we need to start documenting better a number of processes for having a more community involvement into developing. So we just onboarded Parul, who is going to be our dev rel and is going to help with the documentation and also to improve help the work of developers from the community to make contributions to the project. As we are an open source project, so we want people from the community to make contributions. And we have another developer that is specializing in the infrastructure parts of Kleros to make sure that the apps work swiftly. As you know, Web3 is tricky for development because lots of moving parts and sometimes the sites are down, and so now we have someone who will work specifically on making sure that everything works smoothly. We did have that person before, but it was shared with other activities. So I asked also today JB to come. As you know, he is our leader of engineering, so he can give you an update of what's going on of the development activities we are doing. You send him the mic, Gene, so he can speak. Because I'm here every week. William too and Gene too, but and we. So this means that most of the updates are mostly biased towards for research, business development. So I wanted also you to have a more comprehensive overview of other things going on in the development side. So yeah, are you there, JB, now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Perfect. Go ahead.
All right. So, hi everyone. So, I'll give an update of what the team has been busy cooking for maybe the first quarter of the year. On the V2 side, to start with, we've implemented a new dispute kit that was the expectation, the promise of the V2 architecture, that it would allow us to build new features, new mechanisms over time without having to migrate to a completely different system. So we developed a new gated dispute kit, which what is it? It's a contract that could be for those protocols creating disputes. They could point to this dispute kit to whitelist who could be drawn based on whether they own a particular token. It could be an ERC20 or NFT. And it's not deployed just yet, but it's implemented. And that opens the door to many use cases, and also probably some integration with HATS protocol, which is a very interesting protocol. Some other things that we started doing over the past few weeks is working on the proof of concept integration with the Shutter API, which would allow us to have an automated reveal stage. So, okay, I'll take a step back maybe. When we vote, we could either just directly vote in a non-shielded way, so everyone can see who voted what. And another way of doing it is to first commit to a particular vote and then reveal it in a two stages process. And that is not ideal for the user experience because the juror has to come back to reveal his vote. So a better alternative is to have something like Shutter who would do the auto revealing for us using some different technologies, some multi-party computation and threshold encryption. So we've been playing with this, and the huge benefit of having this integration is that the improved user experience for the jurors would allow us to turn on the hidden votes by default on all the courts, which we haven't been doing to avoid that cost in user experience. But for the security of the protocol, that would be ideal. Some other things we've been working on with, as you know, V2 is live on Arbitrum in beta, and some of the early users who are actually creating disputes and really using in real life the outcome of the court V2. They wanted to have a very user-friendly front end to look at the outcome of those disputes. So it's a read-only front end that really shows the outcome of a particular dispute, and it's accessible in many different languages like Spanish and even Arabic. We've been also working on the staking rewards for V2. So at some point, once V2 is out of beta, we will the DAO will turn on that switch, and I think according to tip 66, it's supposed to be 5 or 10% of the staking rewards that will be directed towards V2. And so we've been building the code to do that. We've been also improving the UI of V2. We migrated to, we are in the middle actually of near the end of migrating to a new library called Tailwind compared to the one we were using previously, style components. And it's giving us maybe 10x better accessibility, performance, and developer experience. So that's right. Via our bridging solution that will make the core V2 cross-chain, we are rebooting this project. It was sort of on hold at the end of last year to do some turnover on the team. So we've been relaunching it in the past few months, and we'll be relaunching a devnet soon and a testnet very soon after. We maybe haven't announced it too much, but we've also launched the Escrow V2 on Arbitrum beta. So initially, when we launched V2 beta, we only allowed we call the dispute resolver, but this sort of wizard that you have integrated to the core that allows you to manually create a dispute. But we didn't allow any just smart contract to create disputes for security reasons initially while we are in beta. And we've actually added the first order contract that we allowed, which is this Escrow V2. And to keep the risks under control, we are limiting the maximum value at stake in an Escrow V2 transaction to half an ETH or equivalent in stablecoin. And we know that actually some partners are interested in testing it. And we might have, I'm not sure if we've had a test transaction already, but it will be very exciting to have one if you haven't yet. Some other things we've deployed snapshot proxy contract, which allows those jurors staked on Kleros V2 to have a voting power on snapshot. And then we've also improved the juror leaderboard and the profile page to make it more social and more engaging and more self-explanatory. We also did a bunch of other things, maybe a bit more technical, improving the core performance with like patching subgraph queries. And we integrated an anti-spam backend because we saw that, there was an occurrence of spammy sort of evidence that was submitted in V2. Okay, that's for V2. On the V1 side, we have a lot of activity on the Curate V1 side of things. We've recently added support for for Solana tokens on Scout, so it's going to be possible to add tags for Solana addresses, and we are in the process of improving some of the field schema. It's a bit of a big migration, but it will make Curate and Scout even more powerful. Sorry. We've been also designing a dashboard for Scout, sort of KPI dashboard. So the thing like maybe the kind of dashboard you might have seen on Uniswap pools and statistic pages. And it's been designed, it's currently being implemented. It looks really awesome. You'll probably see more about it soon. There was a lot of work done on the reality, cross chains, especially driven by the interest in prediction markets. So we have Sear as one of the partners, especially using reality, and we have also other partners using reality with Kleros as an arbitration last level of arbitration, and we are now supporting 6 production chains for reality: Gnosis, Unichain, Base, Redstone, Polygon, zkSync, and the associated testnets. And at this point, we could easily support any new OP stack-based or Arbitrum-based network in probably less than a day, if we don't include testing. So we completely modernized the code. Some of it was already stuck in the past. And still on the reality side, there's a new version of reality that is in a sort of pre-release mode. It's version 3.2. It introduces a new hash question type, which is useful for Oracle questions that are asking, for example, for Merkle root as an input, as an answer. So that was that didn't fit into the existing question types, neither for Reality or for Kleros. So we've been working very closely with Edmond from Reality to make this happen, and also improve the UX of having jurors enter such long 30 bytes numbers, 32 bytes numbers, or displaying them, and maybe in different notations. So other smaller things, we've been adding support for Base to our Kleros governor module in the Zodiac platform made by Gnosis Guild. It's currently being reviewed by Gnosis Guild, and yeah, we're looking forward to have this released. We've been working on a completely revamped website for Kleros. I'm not going to say more, but it's going to look right. We try to not just make a sort of dumb static website, but we also integrated a CMS at the back so that the team can edit it without having to write any code. And yeah, there were some other more infrastructure sort of things that are maybe not as interesting, but we decommissioned a very old IPFS cluster that was not needed anymore. We migrated to a different solution where we rely primarily as a SAS IPFS solution with a few backup nodes on the side. We've been following very closely the Bybit and SafeHack to make sure that we understand how it was possible and how we can improve our internal processes to not get impacted ourselves. And yeah, we are Gnosis safe users like most projects, so that's very important to understand. And we also build on top of safe, so it's really important to understand how that was possible. We had a forced migration of most of the front ends, so probably like more than a dozen front ends that we had to migrate from Wallet Connect to the rebranded ReOwn library. That was a forced migration. And yeah, in most cases it was easy, but not everywhere. And yeah, maybe the other maybe thing that was a bit time consuming was addressing some different issues with the graph protocol. So well, we saw like very random issues of like indexers not being available, or well, one subgraph in particular that has issues syncing. And so we've built a front-end widget that will, in general, not show up on our front end, but if the subgraph lags behind or is down, it's going to give a warning to the user so they know that the data that they're looking at on the front end might not be fresh. We also built some monitoring scripts that give us alerts in case that happens. And we also played the game of the graph protocol by staking some GRT in our subgraphs to get more indexers to serve our subgraphs, which solves some of the problems, but not all of them. There's one subgraph in particular for, I think, the address tags. It seems like we might have one of the maybe the subgraph that makes the biggest state update of maybe all the users. Apparently, one day we made a migration from an older curated list, and so we have one transaction somewhere that adds dozens and or maybe not more. I don't exactly know how many, but it adds a very big number of curated items to the list, and that itself creates n times that many entities on the subgraph. And apparently that's the single biggest number of entities created in one transaction that the graph protocol had to process. And apparently that's causing some issues. And so we've been working on this for months with the graph team. And yeah, that's part of what we do. So I'll stop here.
Wow, that was like that was almost a TED talk about Kleros development. Yeah, that was great. I just one thing. I have to go in 8 minutes because I have another call. But I will just give 2 things I have to say, and then I will leave the rest. Give their updates and all that. Important things for me for this week. Well, we are about to launch a new version of the website, as JB mentioned. Just reviewing some of the issues regarding wording and as you know, so the current version is a bit old, and lots of things happened since that moment, and especially lots of things in the enterprise segment. So big part of what Kleros is now is a service provider to real world applications in a government, in insurance, in financial services. And well, the old website didn't represent this correctly, so the new one will have a section on that and other improvements, and it's looking awesome. So that is one important thing. Another important thing, if you are in London, or you like London and you want to learn about Kleros and mechanism design for centralized justice, remember, April 24, we have this conference we are co-hosting with the King's College AI Center. This is King's College is a very important university from the United Kingdom, and based in London. They have beautiful building like not far from the Thames River, and we are co-hosting with them the first ever mechanism design conference for decentralized justice. We held in the past other conferences. We did one at La Sorbonne, we did one at Leicester University, but those were more generic conferences about the different aspects of Kleros, the legal aspects, some of the mechanism design, some of the business aspects. This one is going to be specifically focused on mechanism design, game theory, and we will gather there some of the brightest minds of this topic, peer prediction, including like Paul Goldberg, professor at Oxford, who is hosting with us. We're looking for a student to do a PhD at computer science at Oxford, studying mechanism design for decentralized justice. We are going to have Glenn Weil, who invented the identity, the soulbound tokens idea with Vitalik and Pooja Oliver in that famous paper. We will have Colin Rule, who used to build the dispute resolution system for eBay and PayPal. We will have, most important of all, William George, our director of research. So we're gathering there a very cool community of researchers to help us improve our mechanism. When we started, we only had, anonymous jurors and tokens. Now we have lots of different tools, which include identity systems, anti-Sybil attack systems, soulbound tokens. So the design space that we have now compared to when we started is way more interesting and way wider. So we can do things that we could not do before. This is great for a lot of use cases that require identity, that require one person, one vote, that require picking jurors from a vetted pool and not from anyone who has a token. So all of this increases a lot the odds of Kleros being adopted, because some protocols or some companies or some governments want to have some control of who is chosen as juror. For example, I mean, Mendoza government, when we start moving forward and scaling up the amount of cases, they want jurors to be drawn among, well, citizens of the province, because that's important for this type of use case. So this is something we will be able to do, and this is the type of things we are researching about that. So as you know, William has done lots of research, not just in order to produce these new modules, but also, for example, what is the right or the ideal way to combine the different soulbound tokens having by jurors to have more diversity and better results, for example. I'm also personally now researching a lot of how you can integrate tools like AI and prediction markets into dispute resolution. So I'm not going to go into this rabbit hole now, because I have well, the call in 3 minutes, but I can speak a bit more about that next week. These are some of the ideas I plan to bring to this conference in London. So April 24, London, King's College Mechanism Design Conference. The day before, I'm going to give a small workshop, but not as small, because actually it's an almost full day, about how to build a legal tech company based on our experience at Kleros. And if you go there, we will have in the morning first presentation of different technologies that are affecting the future of dispute resolution, including AI, including, of course, decentralized justice, including blockchain. Then people will work in groups to make like a company based on some of these technologies. I imagine some of them will try to do some company based on Kleros to address some specific type of use case, insurance, travel, whatever they prefer to do. And I will guide them through every step of the way. And so you start by doing the strategy, then the communication strategy, then you do the user discovery, fundraise strategy, and all that. And the workshop ends with like a pitch, a demo day style of pitch. It's super fun. I mean, we've done this a bunch of times in different places. Like last year in Central America, I did 4 of these workshops for government officials, for like academics, for general counsels of very important companies. I did this in Panama, for example. One of the people who attended was a Supreme Court judge from Panama. In Guatemala, there was a cabinet member, the Minister of Labor. So, I mean, and these people got to know a bit about Kleros through this type of workshop, and this is leading to integrations. And I mean, really, it's a business development activity. Okay, just that. I will ask you forgiveness because I have to go now, because I have a call, but I will leave you with now with William, that can tell you a bit more about the conference and the topics that we will discuss there. Yeah, and then the rest of the updates. See you next week, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye, Federico.
Yeah, so I guess I can continue. So as Federico said, I'm going to be participating in this conference. He hit most of the slides. We're going to have talks on peer prediction, social choice theory, relationships between AI and decentralized dispute resolution. Lots of different sort of interesting things in the mechanism design space. I think I'm on 2 different panels, and there's a peer prediction panel, and then also a blockchain identity panel that's going to talk about things related to SPTs. And then I think I also have, like, in addition to that, like a small talk myself. So I have a large presence in the conference. But, we have lots of other people that are like, expert researchers in various fields. I'm looking forward to interacting with them. Particularly, I've been thinking a lot about peer prediction recently. So this is this crowdsourcing set of mechanisms that people have considered in the academic literature, where you not only are asked to answer a question for your crowdsourcing platform, but you also ask what percentage of people will respond in each of the different possible answers. people study that through various angles. I've been thinking a lot about that. I wrote a blog article about this sometime last year, and I've been trying to build on those ideas. How conceivably we could use that in Kleros to have better UX around deposit size. That's sort of my idea. Normally, people use this to weight what answer is chosen in your crowdsourcing system, so that you can kind of pick out surprisingly popular expert minority answers. Like based on how people vote, you can kind of glean from the voting patterns that like some minority of voters is some kind of expert minority, and you should give them extra weight. That can be dangerous in a blockchain setting, and because maybe the people pretending to be an expert minority are actually an attacker minority. As you get better identity tools, so tying in with the other panels, that maybe that danger is less pronounced. But I still think that tools we can draw from that to have to address these sort of questions around deposit size. So you're not using the peer prediction data to determine who wins, but how much people should be penalized or rewarded based on how they answer, which is sort of less dangerous. So doing interesting research about that. I think I'm also signed up to talk at another conference in May, the Stanford Blockchain Governance Summit. So there, I think I'm supposed to talk more about like the SBT research we've been doing and like the identity kind of aspects. But lots of interesting research going on.
Okay, that's cool. So let's go next. Yes. You can give your updates, Marcos.
Yeah, I go with the updates. So yes, this week we were in contact with all our partnerships. We have one call with almost all of them for some updates. First of all, with Lemon, we had a call last Thursday, and well, we presented a new proposal where our idea is to have like maybe a new court or just implement the idea of having their own community resolving the cases. So that's something that we have been thinking for the last months maybe, and we wanted to implement it here in Lemon, and we would like it to implement it in Mendoza too. Remember, we are working with Lavalle, that is a specific like small city or town. In Mendoza, we are working with network and consumer conflicts, and one of the guys that is working with this from Mendoza had this idea of the people from this specific town, from Lavalle, or at least from Mendoza, resolving the consumer and the network conflicts. And well, we would like to implement it in Lemon, and we would like to implement it in Mendoza too. So it's something that we are going to start working maybe for the next months. Well, besides that, on Monday I went yes, this is something I can mention. I went to an in-person meeting with Roxom. Roxom is, to say it like quickly, it's like, let's say that it's something similar to Lemon, like an exchange. Actually, it's like a stock market that has BTC in the background, and it was supposed to be launched on March, and now I think it's going to be launched, and the estimate, it's estimated for June. So yes, they want to use Kleros to resolve disputes. Which kind of disputes could happen there? Well, something similar to the ones that we received from Lemon. Like all kind of disputes that happen between the users and the platform. So again, we are still evaluating how it's going to be the procedure and which disputes we are going to receive. But the good thing is that we are already talking with them. And then besides that, we had this week a call with Suku, that is this prediction market from Argentina, that they want to integrate reality. to resolve their markets. And I think Federico already mentioned it, but we too had a call with Story Protocol. That is a project that we have been in touch. I think the first time was last year, and well, now we are restarting our conversations.
Just to give some background, Roxon is aiming to be a kind of a Nasdaq for Bitcoin. So every stock has a Bitcoin pair. And one of I don't remember if you mentioned, but the a part of the team was part of the Lemon at its beginnings, and the legal team also they were in Lemon before, so they already know us. And actually, one of the persons there was one of the main people pushing for the Kleros integration in Lemon. So that's pretty nice. And the story protocol, I don't know if you have been following, but it's also very promising project, because IP disputes are a huge market in the traditional world, and there are many improvements that can be made if the IP is tokenized, and if it's and if this medium can accept other dispute resolution methods that are cheaper, it could be something really big, and also something that we have been exploring with Kleros for some time now. And yeah, I think Fortunato, do you want to share some updates?
One last thing. Sorry,
Okay.
one last thing about what you were mentioning of Roxhome. Yeah, as Shin mentioned, it's impressive that they still didn't launch, but they already have in their documentation that they want to use Kleros for dispute resolution. And well, that's because this guy that Shin was mentioning, Facundo, sorry, he was working in Lemon before, and as he was happy with the results of the integration with Kleros, he wanted to implement the same in Roxon. So yeah, sorry if you want Fortunato with your updates.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Jean. Thanks, Marcos. About my updates on curation, we renewed our incentive program for the Scout registries with many updates. Probably the main one is that we are opening to other chains. So also for you, as a community, you have more chances to contribute and get rewards for these contributions. And on top of this, as said by JB, we also constantly work to make the entire user experience as simple and as user-friendly as possible. So if you have any feedbacks or doubts about the user experience or about the policies or the incentive programs, please feel free to reach us. Other than this, just like for court and the integration with real-world cases, as Federico mentioned with Mendoza, we continue to test and implement use cases for curation with real-world assets. Probably some community members know about OpenVino, a process where to certify organic wines through Curate. And so we are expanding this process beyond just Web3, and with other products we are researching on, for example, dairy products, real estates, NFTs. And for the last one, for NFTs, it's not just thinking about them only on the speculative point of view, but NFT can be used also in a sustainable way. So if you create a digital character as an NFT and then it gets featured in a movie, you can take credit for that character and knowing that it belongs to you or it was created by you and you can get credited for it. So it's basically related to what Jean just mentioned, also with story protocol and intellectual property. So making sure that items are not just real, but also to whom they belong to. So yeah, this is pretty much it from my side.
Yes. So thank you, Fortunato. I think we missed yesterday to the opportunity to make a joke about the new networks that we are supporting, or on the Kleros Scout rewards. Like we could say, I don't know, EOS or Bitcoin Cash, something like that. But we missed the opportunity. So next year then.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I think. but I think the main takeaway is that Kleros Scout now can curate contracts from any chain, including non-EVM chains. And that's I think it's a huge unlock, because basically it can tag assets that are not even on the blockchain. So why not contracts on other blockchains, right?
Yeah,
Cool.
yes,
So,
exactly. It's we are trying to be chain agnostic, and also, you know, I believe that we are not the only ones following this pattern in Web3 on you know, being open in cooperating. I mean, in our case, it's not directly cooperating, but it's making another ecosystem safer, providing more information. So yeah, like I even, you know, like MetaMask itself is it's opening to Bitcoin and Solana. So our core, of course, our core business will always be on EVM. But yeah, as you said, if we can provide verification also for off-chain asset, which present a large number of challenges, why not providing verification for any kind of on-chain asset?
yeah. Cool. So I think does anyone else has any updates for today?
Oh, that's all from my side.
Yeah, I think only one more thing is that today Marino shared distributed the rewards for the last month's submissions. So if you made any submission, check if you received it. Okay, so thanks everyone for listening, and see you next week or on the Telegram chat.
Thank you all. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Hey guys, bye.